Hey, what's going on guys? RVZ Stealth here, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a guide on how to improve your mechanics as an AD carry. So I'm going to look at laning phase and team fighting. I'm probably going to focus on team fighting the most because that's where most people have the most troubles as an AD carry, and that is where I found that I was struggling a lot at when I started playing AD carry. So I'm going to look at how to position yourself in team fights better. I'm going to look at how to kite and much more. So let's get into the video. My first tip is going to be trading in lane. So generally when trading, you want to keep two things in mind. Who is going to deal more damage and who has more health potions or lifesteal. So if your opponent has gone back and bought a Vamp Scepter first back and they've bought a couple of potions, then trading with them isn't really in your favor unless you can get a lot of damage off on them. So you don't want to waste your mana and waste your time trading with your opponent if they're just going to be able to heal up. You should just focus on making sure you're getting the last hits on minions unless you know that you can go for an all-in on your opponent. So knowing how much damage your opponent can do opposed to how much damage you can do is also really important, because it's going to help you win trades, especially in the early game. If you know how much damage your enemy's abilities do, as well as their auto attacks, then it's going to help you a lot. And you just always have to be aware of the items that your opponents pick up and take advantage of your item advantage. So if you go back and you pick up a BF sword and your opponent only has a Dorn's blade still, then you should be looking to auto attack your opponent whenever you can and just making sure that you're getting damage off on them, because if you have more items, then obviously you're going to be able to win the trade every single time. So you should be looking to do that and take advantage of your items and make sure that you aren't letting your opponent just free CS if you have the advantage in lane. The next thing I want to talk about is harassing in lane. So harassing is a very important part of winning your lane, and it's also known as poking. So you want to take advantage of your opponents going out of position or coming too close to you, especially if they're playing a melee support or if they're playing a shorter ranged champion. So in this clip here, the Thresh is coming to pick up his souls, or he's just coming too close to me. So you need to make sure you're punishing him for coming too close and make sure that you're auto-attacking him a few times, because any damage you can get off on your opponent helps you a lot, and it could be the difference from getting that kill or not. If your opponent escapes with 10 HP, if you were able to get one auto-attack on them in lane by just if they go out of position and you don't take advantage of that, then that could cost you a kill. So make sure that you are taking advantage of your opponent's mistakes. And a good time to harass your opponent is when the AD carry is going for the last hit on a minion. There is no way that they're going to be able to trade damage with you because they're focused on that minion. And if you see in this clip here, I auto-attack Vayne as soon as she's going for the minion, because there's no way that she's going to trade damage with me. If she's obviously going to be more focused on going for that minion, and you just got to take advantage of that, and you'll probably be able to get an auto attack off on your opponent every single time they go for a minion, as long as you're not getting zoned and you are pretty close to your opponent. The next tip I want to talk about is probably one of the most important skills that you can have as an AD carry, and it's going to help you out in so many different situations, and that skill is kiting. So if you don't know what kiting is, it's when you auto-attack your opponent and then you move back to gain distance from them. And there isn't really a huge tip on how to kite or how you can get better at kiting, but the best advice I could give you is, after your auto-attack animation has finished, point your cursor behind you and then it will move you back. And really guys, it just takes time and practice to get good at kiting. I've been playing for over a year and a half now, I think, and I'm still not very good at it. But if you can get good at kiting and learn how to kite really well, like I said, it's going to help you out in so many different situations, especially if you have red buff, because if your opponent doesn't have a gap closer and you have red buff, and you're just going to be able to auto attack your opponent while keeping distance from them, because the red buff will slow them and you're going to be moving away from them. So all in all, guys, if you can get good at kiting, then you're going to become a much better AD carry, and it's definitely a skill that you should try and learn if you don't know it already. The way I would recommend practicing your kiting is against golems or against minions, or just go into a bot game and have a champion chase after you and just practice your kiting, because like I said, if you can get good at kiting, you're going to become a much better AD carry, and it's going to improve your play by a lot. So now I'm going to focus on team fighting, because I think it's where most AD carries need improvement on, and it's where I found that I struggled a lot at when I started playing AD carry. So I'm going to show you guys some LCS gameplay. I'm going to run it through at full speed, and then I'm going to slow it down and analyze what the AD carry did and why they did so well in the team fight, and how they were able to get all the damage off that they did while staying at a safe distance from their opponents. Okay, so in this gameplay here, we're going to be focusing on the AD carry on the red team, who is Doublelift, and why he was such an important part of this team fight, and how he was able to stay at such a safe distance while being able to get so much damage off on his opponent. So as you can see here, he pretty much cleans up the team fight, and he wins it pretty single-handedly for his team. So we're going to slow it down here, and I'll analyze it and tell you guys what he did right. Alright, so if you focus on Jinx on the red team, you can see here she is backing off and making sure that she is attacking the closest opponent to her. As an AD carry, most people say that you should be attacking the high priority targets, but when you're playing AD carry, you want to be focusing whoever is in front of you. Okay, so you don't want to be focusing a high priority damage dealer on their team. As an AD carry, you want to stay at a safe distance behind your team and attack the closest enemy to you. If we watch it through again, I want to focus on her positioning in this fight. So the Jarvan's coming in, and she's backing off, as you can see, and kiting, because she wants to keep a safe distance from her opponents, and now she's at a safe distance. There's nobody that's coming in her way, so she moves up, and as soon as she sees the Caston ready to go in, she starts backing off, getting her distance back again, and once she is at a safe distance now, she starts going back in, and after she kills Kassadin, there is nobody else on the team who can trade damage with her, so then she goes all in on the team because there is no threat to her, and she knows that. So this is where knowing how much damage your enemies are doing and knowing if you're ahead of them is going to help you a lot, because you can go more aggressive in team fights if you're ahead of your enemies, because if you can kill your enemies before they're going to be able to deal damage to you or get enough damage on you to kill you, then you should be playing more aggressive and going harder in the team fight than staying back behind your teammates and attacking the first person in front of you. In this next team fight here, we're going to be focusing on the exact same AD carry, who is Doublelift on the red team, and we're going to see why, once again, he was able to get so much damage off on his opponents while staying at full HP throughout the whole fight, and how he pretty much single-handedly won the fight for his team once again. So we're going to slow it down here, and I will explain to you what is going on. Okay, so first, if we take a look at the enemy team and see the champions they have, the only champion that has an initiate really is Jarvan or Kassadin, and once Jarvan blows his initiate, Doublelift knows that he can just freely attack because he's not going to get jumped on by anyone, and if Kassadin were to go in right now, his teammate would have his backup, so once that Orianna shockwave hits, there's no way he's going to die, and even if he somehow did die, his teammates would have been able to clean up the fight, so that's why he goes full-on aggression and doesn't care about his positioning as much at this point. Rather than at the start of the fight, he was making sure he was staying back and just attacking the closest enemy to you rather than going in and trying to attack Kassadin, because he runs the risk of getting jumped on by that Kassadin or getting jumped on by the Thresh, or should I say getting Thresh hooked. So after that Orianna Shockwave hit, he knew that there was no way that the enemy team was going to be able to get on him and trade or kill him, so he just goes full on aggression and cleans up the team fight from there. In this clip here, we're going to be taking a look at the red team AD carry, who is Sneaky. And before I go into slow-mo and talk about what's going on, I want to say that playing an AD carry with a gap closer like Corki, Ezreal, or Tristana are the ones that I can think of right now, is going to help you learn the role a lot easier, because you can get away with making mistakes playing these champions, because if you go too close into the enemy team, then you can just always get out with your gap closer. So playing one of these three champions is going to help you learn the role of AD carry a lot easier, because you won't be punished for your mistakes as much as you would if you were playing a Kog'Maw or a Jinx. Okay, so if you take a look at Sneaky, you notice that he is staying behind his support and staying behind his front line, and this is a general rule whenever you're playing AD carry. Just make sure you're staying behind your teammates. You want to be as far away from the enemy team as possible until the fight starts, because if you're ahead of your teammates, you run the risk of getting caught out by some sort of CC from the enemy team and just totally ruining the whole team fight. So make sure that you're staying behind your team and that you're not wandering off out of position, because this could really be a game changer. If you get caught out in a team fight and you're the AD carry, then it puts you at a huge disadvantage. So make sure that you're staying behind your team as much as you can until you know that you can go in and there's no way that your opponents can kill you, or there's no way that your team's going to lose the fight if you die. So another general tip I want to point out when playing AD carry is whenever your enemies blow their gap closer or their ability to jump onto you, this is where you want to take advantage of that and strike. So you want to stay out of the fight until the enemy team has blown their gap closer or blown their initiate onto you. For example, if you're playing against a Warwick, you want to stay as far away or stay out of his ultimate range, because what that Warwick's going to be trying to do is he's going to be trying to ult you because you're his high priority champion that he's going to try to use his ultimate on. So once the enemy team has blown their initiate and they have used it on other champions, then this is where you can just go all in aggression, because if you know that there's no way the enemy team can jump on you, then you can just go all in. And that is why in these clips that I've been showing you, the AD carries have gone full in and just gone all in aggression, because there's no way that they can get locked down by any CC on the enemy team. So guys, if you stuck around to the end, we're going to go over a summary here, and if you are still watching this video, then comment below saying taco, so I know who has watched the video to this length. And so to summarize the main points I was talking about in this video, the first thing you have to remember is to harass when your enemy is going for a minion, to trade only if you are ahead in items, have more potions than your opponent, or know you will do more damage than your opponent. Learn how to kite. I can't stress this enough, guys. If you learn how to kite, it's going to help you so much. Stay behind your teammates in team fights. Stay back until the enemy has blown their gap closer. Focus the enemy closest to you in team fights. Go all in if the enemy team has no way of winning the team fight, even if they kill you. And play Corki, Ezreal, Tristana, or Lucian if you were starting out as an AD carry. These champions all have gap closers, so it's going to help you reduce, or it's going to help you, if you make a mistake playing these champions, then you're going to be able to get out of that by using their gap closer, as opposed to playing a champion like Jinx or Kog'Maw who have no gap closer. so you're not going to be able to get out of situations that you would be able to if you were playing Corki as Trist or Lucian. Overall, guys, if you implement these tips that I gave you in this video, I assure you that you will become a better AD carry. So if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. And I would appreciate it if you guys would share the video or make sure that you just give it a thumbs up, because it did take me quite a while to make this video as opposed to some of my other ones. So I would really appreciate the support on this video. So that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.